who's going first. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today, folks. My name's Dave Barton. I'm the mayor of the township of Uxbridge. And we've got some incredible people here behind me. So I'm going to start with my good friend Mayor Carter, the mayor of Oshawa, Mayor Kevin Ash, the mayor of South Uxbridge. And then we've got Trabmeet Zakaria, who's a very good friend of Uxbridge. And then the premier. And then my MPP and Minister Peter Bethenfeld, who's a great friend. And I'm here to talk about these gentlemen. They're true champions. They continue to go above and beyond when it comes to really building Uxbridge. So when you look across the province, we've got new hospitals, new long-term care facilities. We've got highways being built all over the place, whether it's the Fort 13, the Bradford Bypass, the widening of Highway 7, which is right behind us here, as well as the 400. Crab, you've been really busy because you drive up from the 401 up to Parry Sound, the entire area is under construction. The infrastructure work being done is phenomenal. And then it's not just highways. I think there's more tunnels being built under the city of Toronto right now that have been built in 40, 60 years. Just phenomenal, the infrastructure being built here. And this team are hard at work building. And then something a little bit closer to our heart, whether it's the nuclear in Clarington or the Go East expansion, time and time again, this team are stepping up for Durham Region, and then for Uxbridge in general. And then just one other thing to just comment on. Peter Bethenfeld is just a phenomenal guy who's balancing the books in the province of Ontario. For the first time in, I think, Peter, it's 20 years, the first improvement in our country. Unbelievable the work you're doing. You're building Ontario while making the numbers better. And then a little bit closer to my heart in Uxbridge. Uxbridge, when Peter was elected for the first time, they were threatening to close the Uxbridge Hospital. Since then, new Uxbridge Hospital has been announced. We're breaking ground this spring. 192-bed long-term care facility that's going to be part of that campus. New Uxbridge Urban Provincial Park, just phenomenal. Doubling of OSIF, which is building up infrastructure, allowing smaller municipalities like mine to be able to focus on the infrastructure that we all need. And then the downtown is really the heart of any small town. And through the Rural Economic Development Fund, the RED program, we've gotten all of our ducks aligned so we can start building this spring in our downtown. So just phenomenal, the support that we've got from this province. So in closing, thanks to the Premier of Ontario, thanks to Peter Bethenfeld, thanks to perhaps Zakaria. This team are just phenomenal and they stepped up time and time again for Ontario. Folks get elected so we can get this job done. Thank you.
Ministers, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Regional Chair, of course, and representing the great city of Oshawa, Mr. Tito Dante, Mayor Pietri. My name is Dan Carter. I'm fortunate enough to be the mayor for the great city of Oshawa, and I am proud to stand here today. We are facing some of the most complex, difficult, changing, and challenging times across Ontario. To be able to stand with the Premier in regards to facing these challenges, I'm proud not only to endorse, but to continue to support his efforts when it comes to these complex issues. In my community and communities across not only Ontario, but across Canada, all of us are aware of challenges when it comes to healthcare. I was proud to be able to stand with the Premier and the ministers when we made an announcement at Lakeridge Health in regards to $88 million to be able to have Ontario doctors stay at home, be educated here locally, and to continue to be able to foster that, along with our partnership at Lakeridge, Queen's University, and the great city of Oshawa. Premier, I can't thank you enough for bringing innovative ideas and concepts forward that we can address the complexities of what we're facing today. I stand here to support the Premier and his ministers and their efforts in regards to my community and the communities across Ontario. I also appreciate the work that we've been doing on behalf of Canada. And if there is a moment that Canada is being called right now, it's about uniting us together, not dividing us. So I ask everyone that is with us today to get that message out. Canada must be united through these difficult, challenging times, But the one great thing that we have is the spirit of Ontarians and Canadians to be able to show that we can face any hurdle, any challenge, and any obstacle that's in our way. So it brings me great pleasure to be with you today. Premier and Ministers, thank you so much for your support. And I look forward to, once again, be with you later this afternoon. My good friend, Mr. Kevin Ash, the mayor for the great city of Pickering, I'm going to ask you to come forward, sir.
Great.
Premier,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, sorry. Welcome to Pickering. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Kevin Ash. I am honored to be the mayor of the city of Pickering. Premier Ford's leadership is exactly what Ontario needs as we navigate complex challenges like the tariff dispute with our friends south of the border. Doug Ford has shown time and time again he truly understands the struggles real Ontarians face every day, including when it comes to making life more affordable. His proactive solutions, such as eliminating tolls on 412 and 418, removing license plate sticker fees, offering a $200 taxpayer rebate, and standing against the carbon tax, demonstrates his commitment to making life more affordable for people right across our great province. He's proven that he's not afraid to take bold, decisive action, always putting the best interests of Ontarians first. Ontario, more than ever, needs a leader who's tough, principled, and willing to stand up for what's right. Premier Doug Ford is that leader. I fully support Doug Ford and give him my complete endorsement. And I invite the Premier to come up and offer comments to you today. Welcome to Pickering, Premier.
Oh boy, what an honor, very humbling, and I just want to thank the mayors. They're three of the greatest mayors in the entire province. We have a lot of great mayors here, and we can't get anything done if you don't work collaboratively and cooperatively with mayors, and especially the three mayors here. They've really helped boost the economy right here in Durham region, no matter if it's the infrastructure on roads, and I know they were mentioning about widening Highway 7 and 413 and the Bradford bypass and building more opportunities in healthcare and building new hospitals, and the list keeps going on. But again, mayors, I want to thank you because I couldn't do this job without your support. And I'm delighted to be joined today by two of my champions, I can't say minister, Peter Bethenfalvy, your local PC candidate for Pickering Uxbridge, and he's really overseen the finances of this province, done an absolutely incredible job, along with Pradmeet Sarkaria, your PC candidate from Brampton South, again overseeing transportation. I'm just thrilled to be joined by Kevin Ash, the great mayor of Pickering that you just heard from, and Dave Barton, the great mayor of Uxbridge, and Dan Carter, the mayor of Oshawa. And they all are just absolutely incredible. These mayors from across the region, they're absolute champions, every single one of them. And I'm just so thrilled to have their support today and for the next 4 years. As we work together to protect Ontario, my friends, this week we received some welcome news. A 30-day pause on U.S. tariffs. We should all breathe a sigh of relief, but none of us can breathe easy. The simple truth is, as long as Donald Trump is president, the risk of tariffs will never go away. This is a game to him. He wants to break Canada. He wants to buy Canada, but the Canadian spirit can never be broken, and Canada is not for sale. As we stand here, all we know for sure is there's a 4-week pause on tariffs. Whether he implements them in a month, next year, or 2 years from now, he will use the threat of tariffs to get what he wants. Make no mistake, Canada and Ontario will continue to stare down the threat of tariffs. If they come, Trump's tariffs will devastate our economy. They will put hundreds of thousands of jobs at risk, and they'll hit the bottom line of every household in Ontario. Canadians cannot afford yet another blow to their finances. So many families' budgets are already stretched to the limit. Inflation, interest rates, and the liberal carbon tax have already taken so much. You deserve to keep more of what you earn every single day. On this front, our PC team has been hard at work for years. It starts right here in Durham, where our PC team eliminated the tolls on highways 412 and 418, saving drivers $68 million. We cut the gas tax by 10.7 cents per liter, saving the average driver $400. We canceled the license plate sticker fee, saving families $120 per year for every vehicle. We launched One Fare, saving the average transit rider in the Greater Toronto Area $1,600 every year. We permanently froze fees on driver's license and photo cards, saving drivers another $66 million every year. And we ended the wasteful dry clean program, saving drivers $40 million every year. This is real money, real savings, back in your pocket where it belongs. As we stare down the threat of tariffs that will send already high prices skyrocketing, we need to do more. We need to do everything we can to keep costs down for hardworking families, to protect Ontario wallets. For starters, a re-elected PC government will make the gas tax cut permanent, saving drivers and families hundreds more. We're not going to stop there. A re-elected PC government will use the powers of the legislature to strengthen our ban on tolls on provincial highways. We will ban all congestion pricing on municipal and provincial roadways in Ontario. Here in Durham, there's one more toll on a provincial highway we have to deal with. Tolls are absolutely horrible. They hit hard-working families the most. Tolls are nothing more than a tax on drivers trying to get home or to a job. They're nothing more than a tax on workers earning a paycheck. My friends, the era of road tolls on provincial roads and highways, they're done, they're over. A re-elected PC government will permanently remove tolls from the 407 East between Brock Road in Pickering and Highway 115 in Clarington, the portions of the highway owned by the province. Doing this, it will save a daily commuter $7,200 a year. Just imagine that. Anyone using that area along 407, $7,200 a year are going back into your pocket. Those are enormous savings for families, for workers, and they couldn't come at a better time. Other politicians, they want to nickel and dime you to death. They'll find any reason to raise a tax, to charge a fee. Not me, not our PC team. We will never, ever raise a single tax, and we never have, and we never will. Something good happens when you give people their money back. They have a little bit more money to spend on groceries or bills. They might even be able to keep a little bit of money socked away for a rainy day. The weeks, months, and years ahead, they could be very, very tough. Mark my words, President Trump is on a mission. He wants to take Ontario's auto and manufacturing jobs. He wants to redirect global investments. He doesn't think he needs anything from Canada or whatever Canada makes. He even says that he'll use economic force to get his way. The next 4 years, President Trump will use any chance he has to undermine Ontario's economy. He'll use any chance he can to undermine Canadian workers. We're in a battle for the next 4 years. To win, we need to stay united, just like Mayor Carter said. We need to work every angle, use every relationship we have, governors, senators, congressmen, and women, to make sure President Trump and our American allies understand this simple fact. We're so much stronger together. I'll build our economy and protect workers. I'll keep us competitive. I'll clean up our streets and deliver better care with a strong, stable 4-year mandate that outlives and outlasts the Trump administration. I'll do whatever it takes to protect Ontario, to protect the people of Ontario. Thank you so much, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
questions from the media, please come to the mic and state your name and outlet. Just a reminder, it's one question and one follow-up. First question.
Good afternoon, Rob Ferguson, Toronto Star. Just keeping on the Trump theme, you were furious during the pandemic when he was president and he cut off PPE for Canada, forcing us to make it here. And yet you still said on Monday to the firefighters that you supported him. What were you thinking?
Well, there's Trump 1.0 and then there was Trump 2.0. And I always believe in working together. I don't care what political stripe you come from. It doesn't matter if it was President Biden, President Obama, or President Trump. You have to work collaboratively with everyone across all political stripes, and that's exactly what we do.
Doesn't that make you look like a bit of a hypocrite, though? I mean, other than the tariff warning during the campaign and what he did with PPE, there was January 6th, there was the felony convictions, there was all the other things, the impeachments. What do you say to voters who think that maybe you've lost your moral compass?
Well, you know something, I don't think there's too many people that have stood up for Ontarians and Canadians like I have. I think I've been very clear where I stand. I stand for the people of Ontario, the people of Canada. We're going to continue leading the way. We're going to continue leading the way when we go down to Washington and talk to the Congress people and the senators and governors, leading the way on the multiple calls every single day, making sure that we promote Ontario jobs, Canadian jobs. That's what I'm going to do.
Rami Boutros, Oxygen Media. Through the 30 days pause for the American tariff, we want to know the updates of the Starlink contract, 100 million value, and in addition to the automotive factories in Ontario, are there any negotiations about it, or it's about to leave Ontario? Thank you.
No, right now, the U.S. government, President Trump, is focusing strictly on the border, and we're securing the border. The federal government is committed to $1.3 billion to protect the border, 10,000 enforcement officers along the border. We've made sure that we put our 200 OPP officers to protect the border, and Operation Deterrence has proved the right thing to do. We've seized over 600,000 pounds of cocaine coming in from the U.S. border. We're going to be vigilant. We're going to work collaboratively with the U.S. authorities and Canadian authorities and our provincial authorities.
In case that President Trump decides to take the automotive factories out of Ontario, do you have any plan B for facing this?
Well, we've already said if they drop the IRA investment of the U.S. federal government, we're going to backstop the automotive companies. We're going to make sure we protect our workers there, make sure they have the support needed. We have the greatest people in the entire world to be building automobiles, and we're going to continue investing in that. We're going to continue investing in the Skill Development Fund to make sure we retrain and help people.
Good afternoon, Mark McAllister from City News.
Hi, Mark.
A few moments ago you said the era of tolls, they're done, they're over.
That's right.
At what point do you remove the tolls from the rest of the 407, or perhaps buy the 407 back?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. That was a big mistake many years ago from a previous government. We have a capacity issue here. That's the problem. For 10 years, we know all 400 series highways are going to be maxed out, and some sooner than others. That's why we're building the 413, we're building the Bradford bypass, we're going to build this tunnel, we're waiting for the feasibility study. We need more capacity. That's what we need. That doesn't add any more capacity.
I'm not sure you answered the question directly, but in addition to that, you're losing revenue by doing this as well. Perhaps $70 million, I believe, was the amount that we were looking at. $72 million annually by removing the tolls on this section. How do you make up for that lost amount?
Well, we don't lose revenue on $70 million. We're putting $7,200 back into the taxpayers' money pockets. It's their money again. It's not the government's money. It's their money. We're putting $7,200 back into people's pockets that they're going to be able to go out and either sock it away or do things that they might otherwise not be able to do. And it also stirs the economy, getting people from point A to point B a lot quicker without the burden of a toll. And that goes for trucking too. When trucks go along that area, they don't have to worry about paying that toll.
Hi, Alison Jones with the Canadian Press. You've announced a lot of spending in the past week or so. In addition to today, you mentioned $22 billion of infrastructure spending, even aside from your tariff economic action plan, and your government announced, $7-something billion worth of announcements right before you called the campaign. I'm wondering where that money is coming from, and if you're still committed to the 26-27 path to balance, if there are no tariffs.
Well, before I pass it over to Peter Bethenfall, the man that takes care of the money, what we've done, we've seen more revenues come up over a number of years. We've seen $70 billion of more investment, and those companies are paying taxes. There's 850,000 more people that have jobs that are paying taxes compared to 7 years ago when the previous governments chased 300,000 jobs out of the province. We're going to create the climate and the conditions to attract businesses from all over the world to invest. I'll pass this over to Peter.
Thank you, Premier, and thank you for the question. One thing we've worked really hard at over the last 6.5 years is to balance the budget, and we're there. We got 2 credit rating upgrades, the lowest debt to GDP, so the lowest debt burden in over a decade, lowest interest expense since the 1980s. What does this mean? That means we're in the best financial shape of anyone to do what is necessary to protect the economy, to protect jobs, protect workers in the face of any sort of environment like we're facing right now with tariffs. We need a mandate for 4 years to take Trump on toe-to-toe. And we need a mandate to do what it takes fiscally so that we can protect the economy and protect those jobs. And let me tell you, we've been doing since day one, setting the conditions for economic growth. As the Premier just mentioned, there's been tremendous job growth. Just in the last 12 months, 200,000 more people in this province have a good paying job. That's what this government is about, and this is why we're asking people for the mandate to keep going.
Okay. So it sounds like the next budget may be balanced if there's no tariffs. I'm hoping you could put your Premier hat back on for a second. I understand you got off of a First Minister's meeting just before this event. I'm hoping you can update us on what was discussed there. Are there any updates to plans going forward?
Yeah, thanks for that question. We had a great conversation with all 13 premiers. We had the ambassador on as well. And we had a couple of federal ministers along with the Prime Minister. Great ideas about internal trade, that we're going to knock down those barriers and we're going to expedite that. Good conversations about expediting permitting right across the country, making sure we get shovels in the ground quicker to extract our critical minerals to sell to the entire world. But one of the most important things is securing our border. And I've asked the federal government, who is the czar when it comes to drugs overall, especially fentanyl? We have to break down the silos when it becomes for the RCMP or any other police services, CBSA. We all need to work together to stop the flow of drugs coming back and forth across the border. That is one of the #1 concerns that President Trump has mentioned, and we just appreciate the action of the federal government, and all the provinces, by the way, are pitching in, and we're going to tighten this border up.
Hi, Lane Harrison, CBC News. I want to follow up on the rest of the Highway 407 and tolls. I mean, the NDP have promised that they would work with 407 ETR in their first 100 days if they were to win government to take the tolls off the rest of the highway. Obviously, we're at a 407 ETR building today, so you must have a good relationship with them. Will you be discussing taking tolls off the rest of the highway with them?
Well, again, it's a capacity issue. Taking tolls off there, as the NDP mentioned, where's the capacity? They were against building the 413, they were against building Bradford Bypass, they were against expanding 401 East, 401 West, 400. They're against building anything. That's their philosophy. We have a different philosophy. We're going to continue building the 413 Bradford Bypass, building a tunnel to get people home a lot quicker. What they don't understand, traffic congestion is costing $55 billion a year, just here in Toronto and the GTA, not mentioning anywhere else. We think that $55 billion can be utilized in a better fashion than right now sitting in traffic and congestion. So that's our plan, to continue building highways right across this province and widening existing highways.
Okay, and on another topic, and the NDP proposed this morning to end encampments by adding 60,000 new supportive housing units and uploading shelter costs to the province. I'm just curious, what are your thoughts in response to this plan?
Well, we're always looking and we're investing on shelters. We invested over $700 million just in Toronto alone, another $600 million in other cities. We're continuously funding shelters, and we're going to make sure we get people an opportunity to find a roof over their head and find the most important thing, what pays for all this is the economy. The economy is what pays for this, and the opposition, they just believe in high taxes, red tape, regulations, and we saw what happened last time. They chased hundreds of thousands of jobs out of the province. So no matter if it's a healthcare or if it's transportation or infrastructure or education, there's one single source of revenue, and that's the economy. We need to focus on the economy.
This will be the last reporter.
What? Why? There's so many other people here.
Hi there, Barbara with People Briefing. I'm wondering, the last negotiations on the tariffs, on the U.S. tariffs, bought Canada 30 days, but so we have 30 days more, but we didn't really stop them. So is there anything else you can do on that front, like you're being part of the negotiations, anything else you can offer to actually stop the tariffs?
Well, I think the most important thing is communicate with our U.S. counterparts, the senators, congressmen and women, governors that can put the pressure, and business people who put the pressure on the White House to reconsider any threat of tariffs. Because it's not only going to hurt our economy, it's going to hurt the American economy extremely tough as well. So we want to continue building the relationship, and that's why a group of premiers, all the premiers actually, are going to head down to Washington on the 11th and 12th. I just got my schedule the first day. I have 15 meetings, so that's going to be busy, and just as many the next day. So we're going to be collaborating and working hard and telling them the reason why it benefits the U.S. to work collaboratively with us and build the AMCAN fortress that I've been talking about, making the two strongest countries in the world the most prosperous and the safest two countries in the world. That's the message that we're sending down to our U.S. counterparts. And again, I have yet to hear one elected official, no matter Republican or Democrat, thinks this is a good idea to attack your closest neighbor and your cherished ally. There's just no reason to be wasting time on this, in my opinion. Let's build a stronger two countries.
On another topic, about the interprovincial trade barriers, you said yesterday that you had a call with Tim Houston, the Premier of Nova Scotia. Just wondering how that call went, and just to clarify, is that something you could do while you're campaigning as well? Could you move forward with eliminating interprovincial tariffs barriers?
Yeah, great question, but Tim Houston is just one. It was Premier R.J. Simpson that headed up all the premiers along with the federal government, looking at all the barriers that are in the way. The federal government is committed to us that they'll knock off as many barriers as possible. We'll do the same, and every other province will do the same. We need to have free trade right across this country. It'll add another 50, upwards to $100 billion to our GDP. We've got to make sure it's easier to trade with in the country than outside the country. Right now, it's easier to deal with people around the world and down in the U.S. than it is with other provinces.
Premier Ford, will PC candidates be taking part in
Thank you.
local
This
debates this
concludes today's
campaign?
press conference.
Thank you so
Will
much.
they be taking part in local campaign debates this campaign?